Hello peoples and popples, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Fiction&Flora, you can call me Flora, and today we're talking about covers. I'm just going to be telling you about some of my favorite covers in my physical collection, and hoping that you agree with me. I am going to be explaining why they're my favorites. Some of them it's purely design and visual based, and others it's because of how well they relate to the story itself. These aren't in any particular order, but we will start off with one of my all-time fave jacket designs, and that is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. Like, I want you to look at this cover. It's just so well thought out and so meticulously designed, and like it continues on to the interior parts of the jacket, including the author's bio here, and like everything about the design of this book and the way they put things together. I know I was talking about just the cover, but like this entire book in itself is just so perfectly designed that I will not fangirl about it. Like, it is so good. I liked the story, don't get me wrong, and I do recommend the story if you're into like a survival horror. High key recommend. But all I'm saying is, even if you weren't gonna take my recommendation, you should pick it up just so you could have this, because it's gorgeous and it's like anyway, the design of the book is by Andy Reid, and it's illustrated by, the interior illustrations are by Michael Rogalski, and then the cover photography is by Christine Ferreira. So those three are who we owe the design of this book to, and honestly they did such an amazing job. High key, like if I could ever find a book that is that meticulously designed again, my life would be so beautiful, because it's just so good. The next one is She Is a Haunting by Tang Tan Tran, and the jacket illustration is by Elena Maski, and the jacket design is by Tui Wei. And I have not read this book yet, so I can't tell you how well it relates to the actual story, but this cover is so gorgeous. Like the illustration, the use of matte and gloss in order to highlight the character's emotion on the face, it's so good. The care that was taken in the facial, this is a beautiful piece of art that I would legitimately like to have on my wall. I know that a lot of YA horror does have faces with flowers around it, but I feel like, and you might come after me for this, I feel like a lot of YA covers with the flowers have same face fit syndrome, where if you showed me one, I would not be able to just really tell you the difference between another, because the flowers are so much all over the face. They're always the same colors, and it's usually kind of the same looking girl. It's usually like a white girl with either blonde or like very light brunette hair, and then like their eyes are covered. I'm so sorry, but that's what I see. I appreciate the use of darkness on here, and how the color is really focused on the character's face, and how the flowers are minimal, but like they're in a place where it really draws your eye to the center of the page. I like the emotion in the eyes of this character. I just love this cover so much. It's so beautiful. The next one I have is Welcome to the Hyunam Bookshop by Borim, and the jacket design of this one is by Carmen Ballard, and the jacket illustration is by Bonzi Su. You've already heard me rant about this if you watched any of my other videos, but I want you to know that this is, again, one of those cozy covers. It just feels so warm, and honestly it gives me the same vibes of it's not chill girl anymore, it's lo-fi girl. So like lo-fi songs to chill / study to. Like it just, this cover truly gives you the warmth that this book gives, that quiet like bookstore vibe where you can kind of hear just really nice lo-fi or jazz in the background. You can smell the coffee. This cover, like the use of color, the softness of the palette, the way they use the warmth of the light to really just bring in that spotlight of where we're looking, top tier cover in my opinion. The next one I have is Scattered All Over the Earth by Yoko Tawada, and the cover design for this one is also by John Gall. I had another book that was designed by John Gall recently. Which one was it? Who did the John Gall one? yeah, John Gall also did Praiseworthy. I like the Praiseworthy one. I do like this one better. I do enjoy that I just found like an illustrator who's done 2 books in my collection. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it is. Anyway, I really like this one. I like the use of colors. When I think about whether or not it relates to the story itself, I don't know. But then again, the story itself is kind of abstract, so I guess, you know. This one I did really enjoy, and you know, if I wanted to get all art people and use all my art analytical skills from back when I was in college, I'd say that it does relate to the story because it does present this feeling of isolation while surrounded by a greater world. It does create this isolation and like focus effect that makes you want to explore more of like, why is there a singular hand just sticking into a globe? The use of color is so brilliant. I like the contrast between the warmth and the cooler tones, as well as how you can see how they still have interchanging colors. But again, that's just if I want to be all art people. All I'm gonna say is it's pretty, it's beautiful. I like it. The next one I have is Under the Earth, Over the Sky by Emily McCosh. I have not read this one either, so I couldn't tell you whether it relates to the story very well. But the cover design and interior illustrations and formatting are all by the author, Emily McCosh. Oh my god, that's so great. I've never seen a book where the author was also the illustrator. Except for like, you know, picture books. Get what I'm saying? Shut up. Anyway, I haven't seen a novel where the author was also the cover illustrator and designer. And that's so cool. She also did an amazing job with the interior illustrations. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love the use of color. I love the use of contrast. And you can, and I like how you see more details the more you stare at it. This cover just, I don't know what it is, but I just really like the way it's set up. And that's all I've got to say. It's a beautiful cover. From what I remember, this is a very cozy fantasy story. So I remember where I picked this one up. I bought this one in addition to the cover because the author was telling us on TikTok/Instagram about how this is a fantasy about a immortal king who adopts a child and it doesn't end romance. All my anime watchers know how grateful we are for that one. The next one I have is Meditations. This is the journal by Marcus Aurelius. I have nothing much to say. I don't know who the artist is for this piece of artwork. I could have looked it up, but I chose not to. It's beautiful. I like it. I like the way they use the type font and how it really centers right here. I like the way that it just feels very classic. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a good painting. I don't have much. I told you, some of these are just because I think they're pretty. Some of them I'm like, oh, it relates to the story, blah, blah, blah. Some of them are just good. This one, When I Sing Mountains Dance by Irene Sola, and the cover design for this one is by Carlos Esperanza, and the art is from a private collection, so we don't actually know who did the art, but we know that the cover was designed by Carlos Esparza. Anyway, I like it. I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of like a vintage like science book, or like a vintage science fiction book, you know, with the muted colors and like the fullness of the scene that they give you. I think this cover is so gorgeous. I love how big the font is across the thing. It's good. I like the cover design. I'm a sucker. What can I say? It's beautiful. Do I think it has anything to do with the story? Not really, but it's fine. They don't always have to. The next one I have is Good Morning Midnight by Lily Brooks Dalton, and the cover design for this one is by Scott Beale. This one I love because it does relate to the story, and it relates in such a beautiful way. This book cover definitely relates to the story itself. The story focuses on 2 main characters, one who is currently in space traveling back to Earth from a mission, and another who is on Earth. They at the same time they all across the world goes dark. Communication stops. So as far as the people on the spaceship know and the person who we are following in the Arctic know, they are completely isolated. They don't know what has happened to the rest of the human race, and it is an unknown time. And so it is a time full of isolation and loneliness and fear and reflection and coming to terms with our own insignificance in the universe, but also finding comfort in that insignificance. It's a beautiful story that definitely didn't make me cry, and this cover really encapsulates, for me, as a part of this story, like how small this tent is on the entire page, how this is a focal point, but this focal point is lowered. It's not put at the center of the page where it immediately draws your eye. What really draws your eye is this bright spot in this nebula. It's really pulling your eye. Here is the initial place, and then you come down here and you see, oh, there's people. This is a tent. And it just sticks out on this cover, but also it's like easy to miss if you're just quickly glancing at it. Love this cover. I love it. The next story I have is A Conspiracy of Truths by Alexandra Rowland, and the cover design for this one is book design is by Nicholas Siaka, S-C-I-A-C-C-A. And I love it. It reminds me of illuminated manuscripts, so I really enjoy the use of geometry and floral designs along the edge. I enjoy the contrast of our main characters sitting within their spot here. Again, it reminds me of illuminated manuscript. It reminds me of like the initial printing of books when they were done by hand, and they were not, I don't know if sacred's the word I want to use, but they were much more esoteric, you know? And then last but not least, I have Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. And I'm gonna be honest, I just love this cover. The jacket art is by Samuel Araya, and the jacket design is by Michael Graziolo. And I just think it's beautiful. It does relate to the story, but like not in a way that is easily described without spoiling it, especially because it's such a small book. If I told you how it relates too much, you'd be like, bro. But anyway, this is just a gorgeous cover. I know that a lot of people would think it's a little too creepy to be considered gorgeous, but I'm a fan of beautiful creepiness. I love like the softness of this. And those are just a few of my favorite covers in my collection. I know this video is a bit longer than other ones I've been posting recently, but deal with it. Let me know if you're interested in seeing any more of my covers, or if you're interested in any of these books. That'll be all. Riley and I are going to go enjoy the rest of our Sunday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.